All right, so it's Victory Monday, and all I got to say on today is this is what y'all wanted, right? This is what y'all been asking for, right? Are you not entertained? Is this not why later for the 9 straight wins, right? Later for the later for the fact that we dog walk every week. Oh well, this is the real test for the Eagles now. We've seen them. We beat Cincinnati when a lot of y'all were still slurping the Cincinnati slurping that god awful Skyline chili. Yeah, I said it, nigga. It's horrible. Y'all was slurping that back when y'all thought Cincinnati did them. Then we dog walk Cincinnati. They're not a 500 team. We'll see the real test when they have to play the Commanders and everybody and the new greatest quarterback in the league, Jaden Daniels. Oh, we dog walk the Commanders too. It wasn't a game until the game wasn't nearly as close as the score made it. That they're still a young team. They still have a young quarterback who's playing with half a rib because God had to take his rib out and create a woman for him because God saw that it wasn't good for man to be alone, so he made Eve from Jaden Daniels' right rib cage, and then doubted us. But the real test is when they play Baltimore, when they play the Ravens, the Battle of the Birds, and we dog walk the Ravens, and then it became I don't know, Lamar Jackson, he may not be. All of these different tests, test after test after test, and then the Steelers come in. The Steelers, who along with Baltimore, is what the Steelers are up there with Baltimore and Detroit in terms of teams that I think can go pound for pound with Philly in terms of physicality, in terms of just straight up bully ball, that we just going to beat you up, we just going to beat you into submission, right? And we dog walk the Steelers, right? But later for all of that, right? Later for having the number one defense in terms of total yards allowed. Later for having the number 2 defense in terms of points allowed. You feel me? Later for even if Philly don't have the number 1 rush off, I think Baltimore still has the number 1 rush offense. I'm not 100% sure, but top 2 or 3 or something like. Later for all of that, we're gonna bitch about the fact that y'all ain't throwing the ball enough. Y'all ain't passing the ball. Never mind the fact that over this 10-game win streak. Now this I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear shit about my quarterback. Don't tell me nothing about Jalen Hurts, because over the course of this 10-game win streak, 1,900 passing yards. You feel me? 1,900 passing yards. A completion rate of like 68%, I think. It might be higher than that. A quarterback rating of 115. 115 over this 10-game win streak. 23, I think, total touchdowns. Those are elite numbers. That is elite. Oh, and let's not forget 10-0 in that span. But because you feel me, he's not scoring 6 touchdowns and then losing by 3 points to the Rams. You feel me? We not gonna you understand? Don't tell Chase Daniel that 1-yard touchdowns don't count when it's Jalen Hurts that's running them. Don't tell Emmanuel Acho that. Don't tell Phil Simms that. Don't tell all of those mofos at Whip. Don't tell Get Up or any of them that. You understand what I'm saying? It only counts when Josh Allen does it. Get the fuck out my face with that. Anyway, yeah, I'm feeling myself this morning, even though I ain't a part of the team. You feel me? I'm feeling myself this morning because what do y'all got? What is there left to say? What is there left to bitch about? And this is what I've been saying the whole time, is that it's not that Philly can't throw the ball. I'm not going to sit here and hold you and pretend like, you feel me, the past game was clicking on all cylinders and wasn't nobody paying attention to it. Yeah, the past game was out of rhythm, but like I said, when you pass the ball, you feel me, 15, 20 times a game, you can't really get into a rhythm like that. Especially when half of the plays that you call are deep shots down the field, or routes that take like 2, 3, 4 seconds to develop in the first place. You can't develop. Y'all saw yesterday what they do. Come out 22, all right, 22-yard completion to Calcaterra, but that was a quick throw. You ain't really have to, Calcaterra got schemed open, you feel me, so that Jalen could get the ball out quick enough. Next throw, 7-yard slant to AJ. You understand what I'm saying? Jalen started the game out like 10 for 10 or something like that. And that's because Kellen drew up those quick rhythm plays for him to get in the rhythm. Like I said, just like a 3-point shooter. You got to see that ball go into the hoop a few times before you get into a rhythm and before you get comfortable and before you get into a zone. But no, y'all ain't want to hear that. Y'all wanted to extrapolate on one word. Y'all wanted to extrapolate on AJ saying pass, and y'all still, well, I'll tell you one thing, y'all ate off of that. Y'all ate off of that all week. You understand what I'm saying? Is Jalen and AJ still friends? Are the Eagles collapsing from the inside? Again, never mind the record. We gonna find something to yap about. We gonna find something to talk about. We gonna find something to get y'all to pay attention to. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that it was a completely manufactured story. You feel me? Could AJ have elaborated more? Of course he could. But who want to do that? You got a bunch of cameras and you frustrated, you aggravated, you just coming up. I'm convinced most of y'all never played a down of organized football. I'm convinced, because even when you win, but you don't play up to standard, you don't want a bunch of people in your face asking you questions. You don't want to be bothered. You understand what I'm saying? I'm convinced most of y'all that do all this talking, do all this yapping, ain't never played a down of football to begin with. And that's why y'all feel so confident. Again, shut up. You feel me? Could BG have done two things? Could BG have, for one, just kept his mouth shut and not said anything to begin with? Yeah, he could have. And even when he did open his mouth, could he have articulated better? Of course he could have. But y'all blew the thing. Y'all made the thing into, y'all made this into the 19. Man, listen. If we had social media, I think Brandon he did. Perna did a video on this. If we had social media during the 90s, the Cowboys would have been banned as a franchise. The Cowboys would no longer exist. You understand what I'm saying? But y'all got to find something to make into a story. You understand? But I say all of that to get to this point, man, is that, I've been hesitant, right? And I'm still going to say, whoever winds up getting home field in the NFC between Philly and Detroit, because I feel like matter of fact, just because of all of the injuries that are piling up for the Lions now. They're starting to catch up with them now. Because I would say that I feel like it's a 2-horse race between Philly and Detroit. But Green Bay is going to be dangerous, man. LA is going to be dangerous, man. If you look at what they did to Buffalo. If you have an average to ass defense and you're going to try to shut down the Rams, I don't know. They could beat you in a shootout. You understand what I'm saying? They've proven as much. You feel me? So it's several teams that I think don't want to see LA in the playoffs. Don't want to see them in the wild card. Don't want to see them in the divisional. I don't think Philly is. I think Philly can handle them because Philly already proved that they can handle them. I think Philly can. I'm not 100% sure about Detroit just because of the injuries again. Tampa Bay is looking real dangerous. You understand? I don't think anybody wants to see Tampa Bay. You understand what I'm saying right now? Of all of, the second tier playoff teams, I think that Tampa Bay might scare me the most just because we don't have a great history playing the Bucks. But then again, I mean, context is key, right? The first time we played the Bucks, we were playing against Tom Brady, and Jalen Hurts in 2021 was not Jalen Hurts of 2024. So there's that context. We got dog walked by Tampa this year, but again, people forget the fact that when we went into Tampa, we had just week 1, we were in Brazil. We had to travel back to who did we play after that? That was the first. That was to Atlanta. We had to travel back to Philly. Lost by, we were a Saquon drop away from beating the Falcons. So we lost to the Falcons. Then we had to travel down to New Orleans, right? Beat New Orleans. Then travel to Tampa Bay after New Orleans and play in a hot box, 109 degree heat index. You feel me? We don't get that kind of heat and feel. We'll play you in the cold, but we ain't used to that kind of heat up here. You understand what I'm saying? So again, people like to leave out all of that context. So the bye week came at a perfect time. 1, to get our stuff together, but 2, to get some rest after doing all of that traveling. You know what I mean? But anyway, I digress. We were down both Devontae. We were down a bunch. We were down Devontae. We were down Jordan. I think Lane got hurt during that game and stuff. So we were down a bunch of people. Again, people don't want to say, oh, we were down Devontae and AJ in that game. You feel me? And people want to give everybody up. Talk about, oh, well, if Josh Allen not Josh Allen, I'm sorry. If Justin Herbert's receivers keep letting them down. Want to talk about this, that, and the third. And I'm not saying that that's not true. You feel me? Especially Quentin Johnston's bum ass. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying that it's not true that Justin Herbert gets let down by his receivers, but we don't give Jalen Hurts the same type of grace. Oh, we just want when he does have his guys, it's he's being carried. When he don't have his guys, it's we want you to go out there and make superstars out of a bunch of practice squad call-ups, out of a bunch of JV team players and first round disappointments. You understand what I'm saying? That's what we wanted, a bunch of draft busts. That's what we want him to do. You feel what I'm saying? So I say all of that to say that I'm still sticking with the idea that whoever gets the 1 seed because I think it's going to come down between Philly and Baltimore, right? Whoever gets the 1 seed between Philly and Baltimore, I'm not going to say that it's a guarantee that that's who's going to be your NFC conference representative in the Super Bowl. But what I am saying, because I feel like Philly at this point, I feel like the Eagles can go into Ford Field and win. You know what I mean? The Eagles can go into a dome and they can beat the Lions. I'm not sure. I believe that the Lions can beat the Eagles at the Link, especially at full strength. I believe they can beat the Eagles at the Link, but I'm not as convinced as I am that the Eagles can go to Detroit and beat the Lions. So I'm still gonna go with my prediction that whoever winds up getting the 1 seed, right? Because more important than home field is that first round bye, right? Detroit needs that joint like a mofo, right? They need that bye to get healthy. You understand what I'm saying? If they gotta play one extra game, man, I don't know, man. Even if they do make it to the conference championship, they're gonna be beat to absolute hell, man. So I feel they need that bye more than Philly needs that bye, truthfully, honestly, to keep it a buck. So that's really what it comes down to me. If Detroit don't get that bye, man, I got the Eagles. You know what I'm saying? And listen, I've been saying since the off season, I said it in the summertime that the Eagles were low key getting slept on. You understand what I'm saying? People ain't want to. Oh well, what about last year? What about 10-1? What about, like I said? Well, I think that I dropped the video before the season started, and I was talking about all of the contenders, and I talked about the Eagles, and I said is so long as the defense is not ass. That's what people forget, is that the reason why Philly collapsed last year wasn't the offense. And people talk about Jalen Hurts. Again, the production. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, Jalen's production this year might be, you feel me, a tad below what it was last year. You feel me? So the production was there. It was just that he was turning the ball over. Jalen Hurts last year was Jordan Love this year. You feel me? But because, Jordan Love, got that first round pedigree, and because Jordan Love, is the gunslinger, he plays, he has a more aesthetically pleasing style of quarterback play. You understand what I'm saying? You feel he don't get the same kind of heat that Jalen did for his play. You know what I mean? So there you have that. But yeah, Jalen Hurts was basically Jordan Love at the end of last year. You know what I mean? But I forgot my point, man. So here's the thing. I feel like whoever winds up getting the 1 seed, again, I know I'm repeating myself, but whoever winds up getting that first round bye and getting that time to get healthy, especially the Eagles, man, with the workload that Saquon has had this year, and you can see it now, as we get closer, I don't think that it was ever, a thing where, Philly was consciously, I don't think that they were consciously, feeding Saquon in order to bolster his MVP case or for him to break Dickerson's record. I don't think that was the case. But I do feel like the last few weeks, this week and last week, I do think that there's been a more conscious effort to manage his touches, right? Because Saquon was on pace for like 480 something touches this year or something like that. I do think that they're being more conscious of that because they're gonna ride him in the playoffs. You know what I mean? They're gonna ride him into the playoffs. You dig what I'm saying? So if Saquon does get that extra week of rest, yeah, man, it's gonna be a problem. So that's what it's gonna come down to, is whoever winds up getting the 1 seed and getting that first round bye, I feel like it's gonna wind up representing the NFC in the playoffs. As far as the AFC goes, man, I think it all comes down to the health of Pat. But look, I'm not I'm not sleeping on. Listen, I'm not sleeping on Pittsburgh. I'm not sleeping on Baltimore. I'm not sleeping on. I know everybody. Wants to crown the Bills right now because the Chiefs. They down. They Superman. He week to week. But you feel me? I'm not counting out them AFC North teams, man. Because like I said, they play a nasty, grimy type of game that I don't know if Buffalo can, because Buffalo in a lot of ways reminds me of LA, right? Buffalo reminds me of a better version of LA, and a lot of that has to do with injuries, yeah. But it comes down to the point of if we can't just run up the scoreboard. You feel me? I feel like that's how Buffalo has to beat you. They gotta run up the score on you. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know if the Steelers, for one, Baltimore can keep up with you in the shootout. That's one. The Steelers, they ain't gonna let you run up the score. You feel me? Last week notwithstanding. You understand what I'm saying? They're not gonna let you run up the score on them. So I'm not gonna count them out. So what I'm gonna say is I think Buffalo has the best chance of making it to the Super Bowl, right? I don't want to hear that. Oh well, can Josh Allen get past with? I hate the way that y'all frame these. Again, football is a team sport, man. Later for all this Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes nonsense, man. They might not even see each other. You understand what I'm saying? But I do think that Buffalo has the best chance to make it out of the conference, and then you got the Chiefs in that same tier, just because you can't ever count the Chiefs out, right? They the Chiefs. I think that at this point they've built up enough BOD that we should never the season for Kansas City, if that wasn't proven last year when they won 3 straight road games. You feel me? The season for Kansas City don't really start until January. you know what I mean? But I got Buffalo most likely, then the Chiefs, a step below them, and then in that next tier down, I have whoever winds up winning the AFC North between Pittsburgh and Baltimore, I think is going to be my second runner-up. Is going to be my third most likely representative for the AFC. So yeah, there y'all had it. Go Birds. Eat a dick, Chase Daniel.